If you've ever played a competitive online multiplayer game, then you know going full tryhard can be really fun, but after a full day of pwning noobs, you need more chill games to cool down. Here are the top 5 free relaxing Steam games you don't know about. Mary's Room is a story-based game about an unconventional friendship between two classmates that has a tragic conclusion. You play as Kelsey, who looks through Mary's room 20 years later, recounting what happened to Mary. Each item in Mary's room uncovers a little bit of the past as Kelsey narrates a memory she had relating to that item.
I loved skinny dipping, but Marie insisted on wearing this thing.
Every item you find will add a note to Mary's journal, which ends up piecing the whole backstory together, told from Mary's perspective at the time. Each item is a clue that allows you to fill in the gaps of the story until it's all pieced together at the end. It's a beautiful story filled with anger, love, abuse, friendship, hate, redemption, and all the emotions that go into a deep relationship with a troubled history.
After we broke up, he got violent sometimes. One day, he dragged me through the school hall by my shirt.
The writing is wonderfully raw in terms of the wants and frustrations between characters, and gives me the same vibe as the Life is Strange games.
Marie loved that label. She drew it in her journal. I remember that. All that happened later that night, I'm not sure. Maybe I don't want to remember.
It deals with heavy subject matter in a way that everyone can relate to some degree. Life is messy, and this game perfectly captures that feeling in one self-contained story. If you're looking for a game with an amazing story that will have you feeling all kinds of emotions, then I recommend Mary's Room. Crow Story is a minimalistic third-person platformer where you play as a crow trying to save his friends. The game consists of floating levels with platforming challenges broken up by a short flight to the next area. The only controls are move, jump, and dive, but there's little intricacies to the movement that give the game a surprising amount of depth. The controls are floaty but precise. There's a large variety of obstacles considering the game has no enemies other than the final boss, with things like spinning hazards and jump pads. Moving platforms will carry your momentum, which is key to some of the platforming challenges. Some of the platforming sections require quick thinking, as you have to chain together a series of moves, which is very satisfying to pull off. The checkpoints are generously placed before every section, which is a large reason as to why the game is relaxing. The other more obvious reasons include the game's simply vibrant art style and the calming minimalist soundtrack. If you're looking for a chill platformer with simple controls but a lot of depth, then I recommend Crow Story. Cloud Climber is a surreal first-person adventure game about the end of humanity where you explore skybound ruins. You play as the last man alive, uncovering the mysteries of humanity's past and why these towers were made in the first place. The gameplay has you exploring each tower for both items to progress as well as clues to fill in the backstory of the tower's troubled last days with people. I won't spoil the story, but it's very touching and grounded, which may seem ironic considering the game takes place in the sky. The notes reveal the desperation of the people that were left on the towers and uncover the reason they were being built in the first place. The narration from your character provides you with direction as well as his thoughts on the current situation.
I never thought it would end like this. Makes you wonder what the whole point was in the first place.
The game's setting is gorgeous yet somber because of its vast nothingness, further reinforced by its minimal soundtrack. If you're looking for a melancholic game with an intriguing backstory, then I recommend Cloud Climber. Pancake Sailor is a relaxing sailing game where you discover the Akalana Islands. The game has no objective other than exploring the islands at your own pace and learning how the sailboat controls. There's a few collectibles scattered around if you want some Steam achievements though. I had no idea how a sailboat controlled before playing this game, but I actually got a feel for it even though the controls are simple. You have to adjust your sail so the rope is tight and the wind is blowing directly into it. There's also a racing mode where you have to try and collect as many stars as possible, as each one shaves 3 seconds off your overall time. The game is a joy to explore even if the graphics are plain. It does have sheep though. If you're looking for a simple game about sailing, then I recommend Pancake Sailor. What Never Was is a story-based puzzle game about a girl named Sarah who's tasked with clearing out her grandfather's attic. The game is sort of structured like Mary's Room in that you search around looking for items of interest. You can both observe an item which Sarah will then make a comment about,
I spent hours playing games on this thing,
or interact with something in the environment. Some things like letters will be added to your inventory, which both serve as backstory and as clues. There's a magical necklace tied to the story which you get from solving a puzzle. Once it's pieced together, it allows Sarah to look through it, revealing secrets she otherwise couldn't see. The puzzles are fairly straightforward, though you have to use items in your inventory to give context as to how to solve them. The story has fantasy elements revealed in your grandpa's letters that makes you want to figure out what happens next in his story. If you're looking for a charming story-based game with some light puzzle solving, then I recommend What Never Was. It's time for the 3 Big Meat bonus games.
We have the meat.
Bing bong. Let's go.
Home is a feel-good walking simulator where you walk through a journey of what home means to you. You go through these different environments, interacting with things and people. What you choose to interact with shapes what home means to you by the end of the game and gives you one of its multiple endings. Even though the game is only 10 minutes long, it has a poignant message that'll leave you smiling. If you're looking for an uplifting game with a positive message, then I recommend Home. Leaf Blower Revolution is an idle game where you blow away leaves to earn money. Like all idle games, you start with nothing and become more and more efficient at making money over time, even when you're not playing. You can then spend the money you get on upgrades like tools that allow you to clear leaves off your screen faster, or upgrades like more trees so leaves spawn in faster. I'm not the biggest fan of idle games, but this is probably the best one I've played because it's more active and has a good soundtrack. If you're looking for a new idle game to play, then I recommend Leaf Blower Revolution. 100 Hidden Frogs is essentially Where's Waldo but with frogs. The 100 frogs are hidden into the drawings so they can be hard to spot when you're down to the last few. The level scrolls with your mouse, which gives it a modern feel. Every single frog has a Steam achievement, so if you love those, then this game is a no-brainer. If you're looking for a hidden picture game, then I recommend 100 Hidden Frogs. Those were the top 5 free relaxing Steam games you didn't know about. I'll have my playlist of free Steam games you don't know about linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with this ongoing series.